Hello friends, I'm going to talk about some of the features in Google Sheet and how cloud-based computing is changing the paradigm. Uh, I'm going to talk about some of the new features that exist in Google Script and how it is becoming more important for everybody to migrate on the cloud. When we look at Google Sheets and the way to write code for Google Sheets, which is automation in Google Sheet, we have to delve more into Google Apps Script, which is very similar to JavaScript. Now, the broad theme here is cloud-based financial engineering solution. Now, as you might be knowing, and the old and the legacy platform was to install R on your system, was to install Excel on your system. The problem that existed and that hampers a lot while you do that is parallel development of code, device independence, and a lot of other things that we are going to look at. So let's delve into my next topic. So investment analytics, where you want to have sharing of information between analysts and portfolio managers and risk managers, and everybody wants to have a look at the same sheet. Maybe one of the sheets shows risk, one of the sheets shows I don't know, information about news, one of the one of the sheets show portfolio summary, or whatever it is. The same Google Sheet which is on the cloud would serve as the final dashboard for different people to look at, and they can parallelly develop it or change any code or script or run any R command for their respective sheet. It's like a mini software where different people are working on different aspect of the software at the same time on a common file with a common code. To run code, maybe the risk sheet might be using some API from R, which would be R installed on the cloud on Amazon services or something like that. So that is how the infrastructure is going. What this would do is this would cut down a lot of time for that is required to integrate a lot of solution, to import data, a lot of time that was earlier required by analysts for like manual tasks to download some files, upload something. And remind you, all the data is also going to be on the Google Drive, so it's also on the cloud. There is nothing on anybody's hard disk, which means that sharing of information is not a hindrance anymore, and this would streamline and create a very flexible and smooth collaboration between different people who are using the same sheet. So that's why when we talk about oops when we talk about VBA automation or R, or VBA R and SQL on a standalone Microsoft Excel, the same could be achieved, and a lot of time could be saved if we use Google Sheet and move a lot of things on the cloud. Like we can install R on the cloud and ask Google Sheet to calculate something from R and update our sheet and so on. Earlier, if you remember, we have things like batch files and command line script to run things on C prompt or Microsoft DOS. If you want to rename something, the same is now achieved on by Google Script on Google Drive. One of the very best aspect, which I think is the best aspect of Sheet, is that it's device independent. You can use the same Google Sheet on your mobile and virtually run the same app or the script on your mobile. The other thing is cloud computing and paralleling of the data. That is just what I talked about. If many people are working to develop different sheets, they can still work on the same file. They don't need to worry about this. I remember how I used to do it in VBA was using plugins. So the plugin would be installed, the plugin would remain on one place, which would be a shared location. So everybody has to map a drive and point to that plugin, and that plugin is keep on updating. So when the plugin gets updated, it has to be updated on the shared location, and when somebody open an Excel file, that shared location plugin would load up. All of that is now going into oblivion with Google Sheets and cloud-based computing. Earlier, I used to remember that I used to go on Yahoo and download some stuff from Yahoo on a standalone Excel and things like that. But with Google Finance, which is very easily integrable, even Yahoo Finance is very easily integrable on clouds. It makes our life very easy. A lot of other stuff like implied volatility or tracking the market or automation or portfolio balancing, a lot of it could be done using Google spreadsheet in a more efficient manner. So when we look at the difference between Excel VBA and Google Sheets, we'll use Google App Script, which is very similar to JavaScript. What we plan to provide, what I plan to provide is migration services, which is if you have a big code in MS Excel VBA, it could be moved into Google Sheet. You might have to buy the Google subscription of Google Suite to use some of the features, but making all those subroutines and everything into Google App Script. The other version that I see many people doing is having Excel file and having it on the hard disk and then getting it synchronized. It's not that efficient. Also, what I find troublesome is that the notes and the tutorial should also be on Google Docs, so they can be parallelly updated. The same file is being updated by 10 people and they can write a better tutorial to help somebody understand what the process is about. That's also very critical when you want to move things from your hard disk, local hard disk, to the cloud. Automation in VBA Excel, we cannot run macros on Android device. Limitation are a big hamper, so that's gone on Google App Script. Now we can use different API to run R and Python. We can even install R and Python on Amazon Web Services and call it, and a lot of things could be done. Earlier we used to use VBA to create PDF folder. On the high side we could use C#, but GAC is like one thing that would help us create a lot of things on Google Drive, which is in a way more flexible, much more flexible and powerful as compared to putting things on your local hard disk. The same goes with PowerPoint slides. The old method, the file location of PowerPoint slide, it's a very old legacy framework. In fact, Microsoft did not update VBA from a long time, so Google Slides can import things in a very different way. Data table is something that has been the legacy and the most powerful tool in Excel, which was able to run Monte Carlo simulation and a lot of sensitivity analysis. Right now there are no direct ways to do data tables because of some tricky aspect of refreshing and manual calculation and recalculation of sheet and things like that, but there are ways around it. Now I'm devising 10 programs in Google Sheet as a sample programs to explain to you and sensitize you towards Google Sheet, like looping, saving and editing file from Google Drive, named ranges, calculation mode, pivot tables, concatenation and expanding data from a cell. The sixth one becomes important, and seventh and the final one is alternative table. The rest three remains based on your requirement, whatever project you want to do. So three small things I'll take from the learner. So this is about Google Spreadsheet and cloud financial engineering. I hope